What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 2 of the New Street Smarts podcast. And yes, I came up with a name, not very original since that's the name of my website, it's just New Street Smarts. And also because Street Smarts podcast was already taken, so we are now the new Street Smart podcast. Very creative, very innovative, I know. But today I want to talk a little bit about choosing your niche and eliminating your competition, or at least putting yourself in the best position possible, whether you want to create content or create a digital product, whatever you want to do. That is what we are going to be talking about today. And to kick everything off, I want to share a little story of when my sister and I used to live in Oregon. As you guys may or may not know, I was born in Mexico. We moved to Oregon when I was in grade school. Grew up there, graduated high school there, then moved to Mexico for a couple of years after high school, then moved to Texas. But while my sister and I were living in Oregon, we were one out of two families that were Hispanic. And just like we were going to school in an all-white school, you could say, and there was a shortage of brown people. We'll just leave it at that. And so one day, my sister was still in high school, and one day she gets reached out by Les Schwab tires, right? And Les Schwab is a tire shop. It's like a local tire shop chain, very popular in the Northwest. If you're in the South, I can only compare it to Firestone tires or discount tires. But they're just a shop where they switch out your tires, they sell tires. That's not really important. What's important is that they hired her, or they gave her a job as a model, I guess. So to take pictures of her and put in a magazine for an ad, because they were trying to hire more people. So their goal was to show that they were a diverse company, and that it was just a hiring ad, right? So you kind of have to have a lot of different ethnicities in there to make themselves look good. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that she wasn't at all looking for a modeling job at the time. She does a little bit of modeling now, but she wasn't at all looking for a modeling job. They kind of just reached out to her because she was a female, and B, Mexican female out of the whole town. So it was kind of short supply. They couldn't really find anybody else, right? So the point that I'm trying to make is that you gotta put yourself in a situation where you can have the best shot at success. My sister did this obviously subconsciously. She didn't really have too much of a choice, but she was put in that competition to where if she was a model, and if she was looking for a job there, and they were looking specifically for a female Hispanic lady to photograph, she would basically get the job every time because she was the only one. There is really no other competition. So what a lot of people tell you whenever you're creating content or starting to get into content creation or business is that they'll say to choose something that you're passionate about and that you like, and then start creating content around that. And I think that is great advice, but you could go a step further to make sure that you give yourself, like I said before, the best shot at success, and that is to go somewhere where there is a shortage of content and a surplus of attention. So this works very similarly to how demand and supply works. So if there's a lot of demand for a specific subject or a specific niche, and there isn't enough content going around for it, then that is an opportunity that you can take to then create content within that specific niche, and then be the only person really that's making content there. The internet is a big place to where you're probably not going to be the only person creating it, but the less people that there are, and the less saturated that niche is, the best shot that you have of being successful at it. So I'll give you an example of when I started creating content. When I started creating content on TikTok, I started posting videos on the best books that I like to read, and the books that I was enjoying, and just books in general, right? And I found out very quickly that there was a lot of other people talking about books, and not only about the books that I was talking about, but also about Harry Potter books and fiction books and books that I don't necessarily read myself. So I decided to niche down a little bit more and only talk about business and marketing books. Then I started seeing more success there because some of the videos I had started blowing up and whatnot, and then I was attracting the audience that I really wanted, which was people that were trying to get into business and people that were in marketing already. So fast forward a few months, I started finding it very difficult to find a way to monetize books outside of affiliate programs and stuff like that. So then I made the decision to start shifting my content into something else. And I feel like a lot of people go through this process where they can't really find a niche, and then they just start creating content, and then they find out what niche what actually works later on, which I think is completely fine. But we did that because we didn't know what I'm telling you right now, which is to choose an area where where the demand for your content is higher. Fast forward to now, now I'm making content about digital marketing and email marketing specifically, because as I was doing research on YouTube videos and whatnot, and for myself also, I kept trying to search email marketing strategies for content creators, and there was barely anybody making videos on this. You can find a lot of videos on how to use email marketing for e-commerce brands, for dropshipping sites, for even local businesses, which there isn't a lot of content on email marketing for small businesses, which is part of the reason why I'm making content on it. But there was nothing really about email marketing for content creators, especially the new content creators that came out of like TikTok and all of these new social media platforms where people are just, emerging. There's new like viral content creators that are just coming out left and right, that they maybe don't have the time or the skills or the knowledge to say, oh, hey, I might not want to be at the mercy of social media platforms all the time to make my money. So maybe I should move my audience to a platform that I own in case my TikTok account gets banned or gets taken down, which is very common. So if they wanted to do that and they go on Google or YouTube and search up how to do it, email marketing for content creators, then I would be one of the, hopefully one of the only people that comes up when they search that. So the reason why I shifted my content to be in this space is because there was a higher demand of searches versus the amount of content that was out there on like YouTube and Google. So that is why I decided to start making content in here, and also because I do like it, and it has been so far a very profitable niche. So the point of this podcast is, if you are maybe struggling to choose a niche, or you want to start creating content but you don't know exactly what you should start doing, you could take the traditional route and just start making content around something you like, whether that's traveling, books, like me, whatever it is, start making content. But sooner or later you are going to find out that the best niche that you can choose is somewhere that is a higher volume of searches versus compared to the amount of content that's actually out there. So you can use tools like YouTube to be able to find that out. There's a Chrome extension on YouTube that is called vidIQ, I believe. On Google, you can use keywords everywhere, and then when you type in a search, it'll tell you what the competition for that search term is and those keywords, and also what other keywords are related to it that have less competition. And obviously the less competition that there is, the better of an opportunity that it'll be for you, obviously assuming that the volume of people looking for that niche or for those keywords is still high. So it does take time to come across it. I won't lie, it did take me a few months for me to figure out exactly what I wanted to do. And who knows, I might shift over to something else later on that I also like. But if you don't want to just go 6 months without knowing exactly what you're going to do or what your niche is going to be, you can take what I've said so far and then start researching and then see exactly what your niche exactly what you want your niche to be. So not only that is low competition niche, but also that you can see yourself monetizing it in the future. So everything that you should do should be strategic. That way you're not wasting your time. But if you take anything away from this pod, is to just put yourself in the best position that you can to succeed. And that is that. If you guys have any thoughts on this, put them in the comments, or if you are just listening to the audio version of this, give me a review, please. It's going to help out a lot, or share this with a friend. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.